marmalade. Just like kitsch being cool came back into fashion, old-fashioned is back into fashion at the moment. So today I'm going to teach you how to make marmalade. As a child I despised marmalade. It was the worst taste that I could ever taste. But as I grew up, I accidentally became part of the Women's Agricultural Union, where I met lovely ladies that taught me how to make marmalade. And I realized that it's actually like a delicatessen, and with specific fruit in our orchard, like calemondins, I taught myself to make marmalade, along with the Taris marmalade. Today we are doing a beginner's marmalade. This is the calemondin that I properly harvest from the orchard outside, not by picking them, but rather by cutting them with scissors. This means that if you harvest them a long time prior to making the marmalade, the fruit will keep fresher for longer. I washed them and then I started preparing my area to start with the jam. One of the first things you have to think about is what cutting tools you are going to need. You will want very sharp knives and a knife sharpener and a nice cutting board, as well as the proper bowls to keep the cut product in. With calemondins, you cut the calemondin and then you separate the calemondin from its pips, and then you put that in a separate bowl, and you then measure the amount of calemondins that you've cut. When you take your amount of calemondins that was cut, you use 3/4 of that amount of water and you put that into a pot to boil. This is all preparation work, as this process is a 2-day process. Once you are at the boil phase, you boil it for 15 minutes, let it cool down and leave it in the fridge overnight. The calemondin and the measured water has now rested in the fridge overnight, and we are now going to measure the amount of fruit with water combined we have, and then add the same amount of sugar before we start with the boiling process. The beauty about calemondins is that we knead the skins for the pectin level that is in that. And once you've combined your sugar with your fruit, you can put it on the stove top and put it on a high heat in order to get the boiling process going. You should have removed most of your pips in the process of cutting your calemondins, but the beauty about the process is that when it starts boiling, all the pips will boil to the top. At some stage in the boiling process with the calemondins, you will see that there's a foam forming. This is something that you would not want to include in your jamming process, so you can use a tool like this. This is a little sift spoon. As you can see, the fruit is starting to sink deeper into the pot. It's not just floating at the top anymore. It means that the syrup and the fruit is actually starting to combine. If you have a look at the skins, you can see that they're starting to have a very nice shining and translucent consistency. This means that the marmalade is nearing a time of completion. In the process of checking the consistency of your calemondin marmalade, you might want to put some of the product on a spoon and leave it to cool, and then when you turn the spoon and it runs off like water, it's still not ready to go. But you can already see that it is forming a kind of jelly-like consistency. We are getting ready to bottle our calemondin marmalade. Now I'm preparing the lids so that they will get a proper seal once we close it off. The convenient thing about buying bottles from a company like Console is that the bottles come sterilized, and we can have a look at our consistency. So this is ready to go. Now we are ready to bottle the calemondins. I have fixed up my own little funnel by cutting off its nose so that it fits easily into the bottle, or you can buy something like this at any homemade kind of market where they do make these. You want to ensure that you've got enough jelly and enough skins with each helping. When you make big batches, you might want to put your pot back on the stove while you're bottling to ensure the ultimate boiling point when going into the bottling process. I will usually do a batch of 6 and then put it back on the stove and do another batch. This is usually this stage where if you look at your bottle you do not want to see any pips appearing. Try not to handle your lids with your hands at all, because that always gives any kind of interference a chance to get into your sterile environment. Remember that the bottle is extremely hot, so you might want to use a cloth. And the idea is to originally press down on the lid and turn so that you get